I just had a briefing with the county officials here in Collier County. The National Hurricane Center is reporting that Hurricane Irma remains a dangerous and life-threatening Category 5 storm with winds of 185 miles per hour. That's a big storm. I just talked to President Trump, and he's offered the full resources of the federal government. This storm is massive, and the storm surge is predicted will go on for miles. In some instances, it could cover homes and go very far beyond or inland. Right now, Irma is traveling about 16 miles per hour, and the track now has it forecasted to directly impact the Florida Keys on Sunday as a devastating major hurricane. The Florida Keys should be prepared to start feeling the effects of this storm as early as Friday night and early Saturday. Storm surge and extreme winds are the biggest concern right now. This storm is bigger, faster, and stronger than Hurricane Andrew. Many of you here experienced Andrew. This storm's strength far exceeds that. We are being very aggressive in our preparation for this storm, and every Floridian should take this storm seriously and be aggressive to protect their family. It's important to not focus on the exact path of the storm right now. A storm of this size could have effects statewide, and everyone has to be prepared. I know it has shifted a little bit to the east in the latest forecast, but we all have to understand that this is serious and we cannot take chances. This is life-threatening. This is not a storm you can sit and wait through. So many states have reached out to voice their support for us. I just spoke with New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, and he offered the support of the New Jersey National Guard. We also heard from New York, who offered full support. One of our top priorities right now is fuel availability. Today I spoke with the governors of Alabama and South Carolina, and reached out to Governor Deal of Georgia to request that they also rescind weight and driver regulations so out-of-state resources can move expeditiously into Florida. We're moving as much fuel through the system as fast as possible. And our waivers on truck weight restrictions and driver hours are helping to move fuel so we can get it to you very quickly. We're doing all we can to streamline fuel delivery, but you may see lines and even some outages. In the Keys, we're doing everything possible to get gas to everyone as quickly as possible. But we're going to do everything we can to get everybody out of the Keys. If there's an evacuation, we'll do everything we can to get people out. We're looking at all possible avenues to ensure everyone gets out. For everyone across the state, if you are going to shelter in your county, please take only enough fuel that you need. If you don't need to fill your tank to the brim because you're going to stay in your county, don't fill it up. I spoke to the U.S. Department of Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao today, and she's been very supportive. The federal DOT has lifted federal regulations of fuel to get gas to Florida as quickly as possible. All of our ports are open and operating to bring fuel and supplies in. Evacuations. Right now there is mandatory evacuation order in effect for all visitors in the Florida Keys. Tonight this order will go into effect for all residents. We estimate that about 25,000 people have already evacuated from the Keys. Listen to your local officials for evacuation orders. They will tell you if and when your area needs to be evacuated. So listen to the locals. If you're told to evacuate, don't wait. Get out quickly. If you look at what happens is if you wait, that's when we end up with the lines on the highways. When local officials tell you to evacuate, they do so because it's not safe to stay. We can expect additional evacuations if this storm continues so near to our state. Everyone must listen to their local officials. Individuals with special needs started being evacuated from Miami this morning, and Miami-Dade County officials are also advising residents living in low-lying areas to start evacuating today. There are voluntary evacuations being ordered in Collier County. Broward County has issued voluntary evacuations of mobile homes in low-lying areas beginning today. I cannot stress this enough. Do not ignore evacuation orders. Remember, we can rebuild your home, but we cannot rebuild your life. Real-time traffic information and evacuation routes is available at www.fl511.com. In my direction, all tolls have been waived across Florida roadways. This should help families evacuate quickly and safely. We are preparing for Irma to directly impact our state, and while it's still too early to tell exactly where this storm will go, it is incredibly important that all Floridians keep a close eye on this incredibly dangerous storm. Do not sit and wait for this storm to come. It is extremely dangerous and deadly and will cause devastation. Get prepared now. Regarding the Florida National Guard, I just activated an additional 900 members of Florida National Guard. By the end of the day, there will be a total of 1,000 Guard members to immediately begin assisting with ongoing Hurricane Irma preparation. The Florida National Guard is incredibly important to executing emergency preparedness and response actions across the state. and I will continue to activate more members as needed. These members will be in place to help with evacuations and sheltering, as well as coordination of search and rescue with the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. National Guard members will also be assisting utility companies following the storm as they respond to return power to homes and businesses. I've directed the remaining 6,000 available members of the Florida National Guard to report for duty no later than Friday morning. In addition, 13 helicopters, more than 1,000 technical, high water vehicles are on standby. The Florida National Guard is coordinating with other states and the National Guard Bureau to ensure approximately 30,000 troops, 4,000 trucks, 100 helicopters, and air evacuation crews are ready to support our state. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission is preparing search and rescue teams for potential deployment. FWC has more than 200 officers standing by for the first wave of response based on potential storm impacts. 30 teams with supporting resources such as trucks, coastal and river patrol boats, ATV, and shallow draft boats are preparing for evacuation support, search and rescue missions, or any additional needs. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement, FWC, the Department of Highway and Safety, and other partnering agencies are identifying resources for deployment and response. The Florida Highway Patrol is monitoring road and traffic conditions to ensure roadways are clear. FDLE has established 18 emergency response teams for deployment to impacted areas and 7 logistics and planning teams. Each FDLE region is staffing its regional law enforcement coordination team in advance of the storm to assist local law enforcement with any needs. Utility providers. I have been in constant contact with the Florida utility providers. They're already working on staging and asset allocation so they can return power as quickly as possible following the storm. They are actively pre-positioning resources throughout the state and in neighboring states. We know from previous storms how incredibly important it is for power to be restored as quickly as possible. I will continue to be talking with them often throughout the day, and I've urged county and city officials, including sheriffs and police chiefs, to reach out to their utility providers so we can all work together in response to Irma. Lake Okeechobee. Water levels in Lake Okeechobee are being lowered as well as the surrounding canals. Routine inspections of the Herbert Hoover Dike are taking place, and additional inspections will begin once the lake approaches 17 feet. The lake is currently at 13.68 feet. Based on current rainfall forecast, at this time, we have no major concerns with the dike, but we remain in constant contact with the South Florida Water Management District and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to monitor this. Shelters. If you are evacuating from the Keys, you can shelter at Florida International University. We are working hand in hand with the counties to ensure that shelters are available for other communities who may need to evacuate. There is absolutely no reason for anyone not to evacuate if you're ordered to do so. Shelters will be available, and you should follow the directions of local officials to go to the shelter that fits your needs. Families can go to floridadisaster.org/info to learn where shelters are in your area. Comcast will be opening more than 137,000 free Xfinity Wi-Fi hotspots throughout the state for individuals in need, including non-Comcast customers. For a map of these hotspots, visit xfinity.com/Wi-Fi. AT&T and Verizon are also helping with hotspots. The state is staging supplies such as meals, shelter support trailers, and water at the State Logistic Resource Center in Central Florida for deployment as needed. We will be pre-positioning these goods once we have a better understanding of the path of the storm. Last night I spoke to U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary Tom Price, who told me that HHS has pre-positioned medical support personnel and has disaster medical assistance teams en route to Florida. These rapid response teams aid in the provision of medical care to those in need after the storm. We have seen reports on the news of grocery stores being out of water. Retailers are working as quickly as possible to fill grocery shelves with water and other emergency resources. All weight and driver restrictions have been waived and tolls are waived. This is helping them. We've been in touch with retailers and more supplies are on the way. If you visited the store yesterday and found a great shortage, you should go back today to get your supplies once everything has been replenished. And they're going to continue to replenish their stores. What we need now is we need volunteers. We need more volunteers. I encourage all Floridians that can volunteer to do so to help prepare and respond to this storm. Volunteer Florida has 43 community emergency response teams on standby to deploy to the areas of need. American Red Cross teams are arriving in Orlando for staging with 26 tractor trailers at the State Logistics Resource Center, 150 trailers at the State Farmers Market, and 100 emergency response vehicles staged in North Florida. The Red Cross is also sending 1,000 volunteers to Florida. The Salvation Army is also on standby with 32 cooking units in Florida, and additional supplies staged and awaiting deployment in neighboring states. The Florida Baptist Convention has 35 kitchens on standby, ready to feed 35,000 meals per day. Floridians can go to volunteerflorida.org to sign up for volunteer opportunities, but we need more volunteers. So far, more than 2,000 Floridians have signed up to volunteer, which is great news and shows the true colors of our state during emergencies. We need to help each other. Volunteers make a huge difference in these emergencies and help with shelters, food distribution, and response efforts. Your efforts could make the difference a family needs to get through this storm. Regarding school closures, to find out if your school district is closing, please visit Florida Department of Education website at fldoe.org, or you can call your superintendent. State offices in Monroe County are closed until further notice. State offices in Miami-Dade, Broward, and Lee counties will be closed tomorrow until further notice. State office closures in all other counties will follow the direction of county officials and will be announced as they are determined. I have directed state offices in all 67 counties to be closed on Friday. Every family needs to have a plan. Have a disaster preparedness kit and be ready today. Do not sit and wait. Prepare right now. We don't know what's going to happen. Prepare right now. For details on how to create a personalized plan, please visit floridadisaster.org/get-a-plan. If you need to fill your prescriptions, do it today. You can fill them early at your local pharmacy so you're prepared. We are working closely with our federal and local partners to make sure our communities have all the resources they need. We are 100% focused on making sure Floridians and visitors have timely information on this storm, and we will continue to closely monitor Hurricane Irma and issue updates throughout the next few days. But I cannot stress this enough. Get prepared. Know your evacuation plan. Listen to the local officials. This storm has the potential to devastate our state, and you have to take this seriously. Take care of your families. Remember, we can rebuild your home, but we cannot rebuild your life. This is a life-threatening storm, and protecting life is our absolute top priority. Cada familia tiene que tomar este huracán en serio. Tienen que tener un plan, 3 días de agua, alimentos y las medicinas que necesiten. Como gobernador, mi prioridad es que todos en la Florida estén seguros y preparados. When I was back in my business life, I went through Andrew. These things can change very rapidly at the end. We evacuated two hospitals because we thought it was going to come in through the middle of Miami. The last minute changed. It went to a hospital that we had evacuated patients to, and we lost all the power, all the windows were blown in. We had to hand vet patients for 10 hours. So remember, these things can change quickly. This is bigger than Andrew. It's more wind. It's bigger in size, and there's a potential of significantly more storm surge. So this is a big storm, so take the time now to get prepared and listen to what your local officials are saying. I'll be glad to answer any questions anybody has. Yes, sir.
Governor, with regards to price gouging, we've had some viewers call us with concerns. How does the state enforce those laws?
So you can call either to the Attorney General Pam Bondi, and Pam Bondi is very aggressive at prosecuting anybody that price gouges. You can call your local state attorney. Both of them have hotlines that you can call, and you call either one of them. The state attorneys here around the state and Attorney General Bondi are very aggressive at people that price gouge. I mean, it's not fair. I mean, to price gouge. Think about your neighbors. Think about people that this is the time of need. Do not take advantage of people. It's a wrong thing to do. Yes, sir.
Governor Scott, have you spoken to the president lately, and what has he told you?
I spoke to him about 20 minutes ago, and I spoke to him over the weekend. I worked with the White House to get a pre-landfall declaration on Tuesday, I guess it was. It's hard to get these days straight on Tuesday, and just spoke to him a few months ago, and he said, "Look, anything you need, we're going to make sure we get it for you." The cabinet members, I've been talking to a variety of them. I talked to Elaine Chao about an hour ago, runs Department of Transportation. Talked to Tom Price last night. They're telling me they're going to get us all the resources. FEMA's working with us in our operations center in Tallahassee. The key is we all have to work together. State, local, and federal all have to work together. because we've got to share resources. No different than what we expect everybody else to do. We need families to work with each other. If anybody's in need, all government agencies have got to do the same thing.
Are low-lying areas of Miami being evacuated?
They're advising, they're recommending that people in low-lying areas evacuate right now. So they're doing the same thing. I think it's east of Federal Highway in Broward and in the Barrier Islands. So anybody's, as we make these decisions on evacuations, it's how much wind are we going to get, what's the storm surge going to be like, and how big is the storm. So right now it moved slightly to the east this morning, but it has the potential to have a dramatic impact on the whole state. On both, it still can go on both coasts. These things move. So, yes.
Many local businesses like the Key West Express and other businesses, they want to go down to the Keys to help people out because there's only one way out, and that traffic is really going to start building up, but the docks are closed for them to be able to get to the Keys. Do you plan on perhaps opening up some docks so private businesses can go help evacuate people
Sure.
out?
I'll look into that. Right now, I was in the Keys this morning. Right now, the Highway 1, which allows, which is a way to get out, it was not packed. Our real concern right now in the Keys is people need to leave, and then just make sure there's fuel availability. So we're gonna continue to do everything we can. The North Carolina National Guard came in with C-130s. We're evacuating the hospital down there this afternoon, and so it's right now we're evacuating it. Their problem is going to be storm surge. The problem's wind. There's very few buildings that are ready for a Category 5 storm, 185 miles an hour, and plus they're very low. So but we're providing it. But I'll look into that. Thanks everybody.